pre-orders for the new edition box teaser article is live. This is more or less going to be a live reaction because I am so excited right now. I've gotten through like the first, like what's just in the UCM portion, and I'm like, screw it, I gotta start recording. So let's get to the article. I'm just seeing now we get a really nice photo of a nice air battle here, which is air battle with maybe reaches into space, so you can kind of see just the insanity that condors and the drop ships have to get through just to get to the ground if there's a huge air fight going on. Hello, Commanders. As you all know, Dropzone Commander 3rd Edition is imminent. Hopefully you've enjoyed reading along with these rules previews and looking forward to drop as much as we are. We've got a shiny trailer for you, showing off the launch box models in all their glory. There are a few. Go check it out, and I encourage you, go just stop my analytics and just go watch it. Their biggest box ever, and yes, this box looks big. The original box only had 2 forces in it: dice, starter set rules, quick play sheets, and that was it. There was no terrain. I actually started to play with some free they had free terrain you could print out onto paper and then glue to cardboard. I actually made 3 buildings like that and just played on my kitchen table with the first starter set. I had a blast with it, but this looks a whole lot better. And there is a lot to unpack. They go further into the article, but then we'll go over to this image and I'll point out what they're talking about. So there's a lot to unpack here. The starter set is absolutely massive. The full rule book, tokens, and everything you need, dice, fast play sheets, starter box scenarios, the maps and buildings, and then 10 sprues. 10 sprues. Each making 1,000 points worth of army, which is just like the old starters, UCM starter, PHR starter. Each one made 1,000 points. Actually, we'll do this image. We'll start on the UCM side. They do mention that these starters have more flavor than the old ones. That instead of getting, the old one had for the UCM side, it had 6 condors, 6 bears, each full with 3 infantry squads, and then 6 sabers and 6 AA tanks. So you got a very good solid core, but it wasn't anything crazy. It was very basic battle line, simplistic troops, but they're like, we're going to change that. So the UCM army has 3 saber tanks, 3 rapier AA tanks, all in Condor dropships. So that's what the 2 Condors are for, and those are your mainline battle tanks. Then support is 4 aggressive cannon polecats, then 2 Nemesis minigun polecats, supported by a Bolter dropship and one Raven Light dropship. Fire support is present as a pair of infinite range scimitar heavy tanks, driving on from your board edge. Then 2 bases of Praetorian Spec Ops, so 10 troops, in 1 Raven Light dropship, which is your Elite C QB, and then 6 bases of Legionnaires in the Vulcan troopship and 1 Raven Light troopship. So most likely 2 in the Raven Light troopship and 4 in the 4 in the Vulture troopship if the numbers capacity is staying the same in terms of the number of troops it can hold. Finally, close air support in Falcon Light troopship with a Falcon Light gunship with a minigun. Now we get to the Biovisor stuff, and I haven't got past this point yet, so I'm gonna read. I'm excited. The opposite number are the brand new Biovisors. Never before seen, Dropzone Commander, and of course, entirely plastic. No resin or metal. If you can find any of the old metal Hawk War Game stuff, where some of that stuff had metal. I actually got a metal metal legged PHR Ares right here. $1,000 points gets you a core of 4 Barb Destructor Tusk Battle Skimmers in a device dropship and a 2 Winnow Web Tangent AA Skimmers in a Data Strike dropship. Once it's dropped off its Grievance Generator Arc, a Silence Heavy Gunship menaces the battlefield above its decon with its decon cannons. With a second Grievance comes aboard another data. A gyro arrow generator provides more infantry on demand, and pack a 6 light maw armed Thornlight skimmers flanks out a trio of Digit Light dropships. So we're getting finally the box builds 6 bases of drones and 4 bases of Winnow carbine armed hulks for all your infantry requirements. So it sounds like the Biofighter's naming conventions are gyros, digits, datas. We also have Silence Grievous, Tusk Tangent, and then drones and hulks. So we kind of got thorns. Thorns makes me think of plants and weeds and pokey things. But then the main idea is AI, data, digits, tangents. The models have to be seen to be believed. The ground forces go together in specific configurations for a set of ingenious mixed faction sprues. While the 2 dropship sprues per faction are the multi-build kits you'll able to get separately later. So if you want to build your vultures as harriers, your condors as eagles, or your datas as surges, nothing stops you. And so that means 2 sprues. So 2 drop ship sprues per faction. So 1 sprue is probably going to be a mix of condors and Vulture Light troop ships and the Raven Light gunships. At first, I was very curious when I've seen hearing about sprues on that they're all kind of mashed together. They're not like, here's just 1 sprue in 1 box, it's all mashed together. But other 10 mil games have done this. Armored Clash, I know, is one of them. Most likely, even Warlord Games' Epic Ranges have infantry and cannons on 1 sprue, and then their cavalry's on a full another sprue. Epic Pike and Shot, it's a mixed sprue. It's just the scale, you can't just have 1 solid unit type per sprue and have another set of boxes. If you are at Gen Con, because it's giant, photo, you can go buy a copy at Gen Con, which starts from Thursday, July 3rd for Gen Con and then ends August 2nd. Pre-order on their website is starting Thursday, the 30th of July, and will come Friday, the 14th of August. You'll get the starter box and the rulebook. And here is their new Chroma Terrain. Huge bundle of Chroma Terrain. No pre-painting needed, or having to deal with the fiddly paper buildings. I tried to reinforce mine with foam. It just made it bow in and kind of even more flimsy instead of nice and sturdy. The Cityscape cardboard terrain pack will also return to the website for players needing something more compact. Finally, the 4 armies in the 2-player starter box that aren't there: Purge, Scourge, PHR, Sheltari, and Resistance, while getting army bundles to pre-order. These ready-to-made armies incorporate the existing plastic starter sets for those who have them, and add a number of additional units to get up to around 1500 to 1750 points. The Resistance bundle makes a smaller army of 1000 points, as it doesn't have the plastic starter set to bulk it up, but it does contain some brand new infantry models for the time building won't be available outside the bundle. Have a closer look at the store photos when the bundles go up for pre-order. Let's look at this Chroma Terrain in more detail. Ooh, we get a 2 ramp sections, which here we can go off and up, or you can go put these together, so then you have this kind of longer, like instead of here and here, you could have it go across the center here. What's interesting is there's a lot of scatter terrain in this. So all these little, this smaller set of buildings, this bunker, no idea what to call that, this parking lot, these 2 parking lots, and then these smaller crates. So that can show you this here. You can count this as a zone, or maybe put like a small piece of board under it to count this as a bigger zone. Or actually, you already have everything from surrounded by the road to count as a zone, a place to contest for your infantry. So then you'd still get all the obscuring bonuses in this section here, while it's not being inside a building, which the old editions would count them as inside a building. The obscured rule for zones might be in Article 7, 6, or 8. One of the articles I haven't been able to cover yet. I know this is totally out of order, but I'm excited if you can't tell. So, welcome to Wolf's Wargaming Den. I've been covering these other teaser articles, and this is the last one, and the new edition's coming out. We have a building under construction, which is kind of cool to say, hey, the attack that came 200 years ago, humanity was just doing its normal daily life, and now we got attacked and everything just stopped. We have 2 other taller buildings in the older starter set, and then this one here as well. These ones are, if they're anything like the old paper buildings, these ones are going to be 9 inches tall. To help give you a kind of sense of scale on how large these are. Then you have more medium-sized buildings with the one with the helipad here, and most likely this one and this one here as well. These ones are about 7 inches in height and as medium buildings, and then small ones are this pair here and then these two here with the bridge walkway across. And maybe you might even count these two industrial buildings here as small and then these ones as medium. We'll have to see what the rulebook defines as large, medium, and small in terms of zones, which is generally what buildings are. But you get a nice variety of buildings, scatter terrain to provide little bits of cover, and industrial looking buildings. So you can kind of go any direction you want in terms of aesthetics for what the board looks like. It'll be interesting to see how much this costs though. Unless the article, no, the article doesn't say here, but it'll be interesting to see how much this whole bundle costs. The free rules. Pre-order starts tomorrow, but many of you are keen to sink the teeth into a game and get playing as soon as possible. I am. So the rules will be free on their resources website, just as they are right now for version 2. Including all the new rules for each faction, for existing units right here. For the Biofighters units, you'll be able to get a preview of what's coming in the near future for them getting their full plastic releases. Small errata to the physical rulebook will be on the website. As always, the way a handful of errors were noticed in playtesting after the rules have been locked for printing. There aren't many corrections, and we're confident this has been our most playtested and scrutinized version of the game to date. But if your adjustments are necessary, we'll update both the errata and digital rulebook regularly. We'll also follow up with a FAQ to address any common queries or edge cases that arise at release, plus a few we're already aware of. It is nice to say up front, yes, printing got locked in 6 months ago. Who knows how long? They started playtesting more. It's like, oh, shoot, we found an error. This is what's going to happen. It's not like, oh yeah, here's your book, boom. These were problems we found that need to be addressed. And not letting us know. And as always, even with version 2, the PDFs is where you can get your errata in their resources section. I actually can go there right now. Here's their resources section where you can see the original rulebook and FAQ and errata for version 2. The rules for behemoth fauna, famous commanders, and environmental effects. We get like rain and monsoons and fog. Or smog maybe, because Scourge need industrial capacity of some sort. And an update to the narrative that moves the story along. More lore! And the clock closer to midnight as the Bioforces begin their ground war in earnest. Oh, this is the first time we've heard anything about that. Will also follow soon, and will be available for free on the website when they're ready. There's also a hint on the last page of the physical rulebook about our long-term plans for the game and setting. Drop Fleet players! There's something in here for you! We're excited to get the game in your hands It's been a long road developing it, but we're confident this is the best version of Dropzone Commander to date. That we can get our starter boxes, build new minis, start rolling dice, and we'll be able to make our decision on whether this is the best version of Dropzone 3 or not. Dave, Alex, and the TT Combat team will be at Gen Con over the weekend to answer your questions, show you the upcoming releases for our games. If you're there, go say hi. And you can even demo the new game. They have Facebook, Instagram, and Discord server. I'll link is in the description if you want to join their Discord server. So thank you, Alex, for all the articles. Thank you, Dave, and the TT Combat team. I'm excited. I am really excited. Let's go look at photos for what's coming up on the new box. So I can tell you for certainty what's in the UCM half. I can guess at what's in the Biophyser half now that I know what to look for. So in this photo, the condors aren't in it. The condors, scrolling up, the condors are these two dropships right here. So in those, that will be for the 3 Rapier AA tanks and the 3 Rapier AA, which is the ones. Ooh. So then they've added a new paint scheme, and I kind of like it. So in photos, so I might be doing this with my troops. In photos, you can identify by the color marking what variant it is, rather than having to look at the weapon. So scimitars have a white marker here. You can see my mouse. The Rapier AA, by the look of it, yeah, the Rapier AA have a blue. The Saber tanks have this red. The polecats with aggressor cannons, which there's only 3 here, have yellow marking up on their on this section of their frame, and then the minigun ones are purple. So then here's a purple dropship. Oh, Condor's right here. It was kind of blending in. Sorry. Then you have the blue one for the blue pattern. Wait a second. Those look like missiles. Right there. Ah, that is the missiles on the Vulcan. See, there's one there, there's one there. It's just blending with the Condor. Sorry if I got anybody excited with new weapon options for the Condor. That's not happening. Then you have the light dropship here, which that's for the pair of polecats. This other Vulcan is for the 3 here. The one, this one here, I'm blind, sorry, has these containers and the clamps. That'll be for the 4 infantry legionnaires. Then the other 2, you have in a Raven troop ship. So 2 bases go in a Raven troop ship, and then the 6 bases of legionnaires can get split across the Vulture and another Raven troop ship if you want. So 2 per pod on the Vulture troop ship, and then 2 on another light troop ship. Not confirmed until we get the rules, but in last edition you could put 3 bases in each pod, so all 6 legionnaires could go in the Vulture troop ship if you wanted a bit heavier troop ship in one spot. Sorry if you're hearing thunder right now. There's currently a storm. Then the minigun Falcon gunship is back here. The nice thing about this is the Scimitar tanks have, in older editions, had infinite range. So you're learning about the drive-on mechanic, where in previous editions you could just totally ignore that mechanic. So that's an interesting way to show that you can do this drive-on mechanic in the game. So we'll go to this chroma terrain. So in the last edition, what that meant is the vehicles would drive onto the board and not be flown onto the board, so that they came in by heavy dropship in the drop fleet side of things, which is outside the city because it's such a large fast drop container, basically, to hold all the troops in it, rather than just the condors flying in maybe one albatross in the New Orleans strike carrier. Just the that's kind of the lore behind that, which you can go read more lore in the resources section page on for free for PDFs if you're interested in sitting down and reading lore. That's where the Reconquest lore is. If you've watched watch the new video that just dropped in this article. Biofisor side of things, we get 4 Barb Destructor Tusk Battle Skimmers in a device dropship and 2 Winnow Web Tangent AA Skimmers in the device dropship. So Winnow AA Skimmers would probably be these ones. The 4 main battle tanks from these, and wow, these things look like they got some size to them. Like they're going to take up some space. As mainline battle tanks. Device dropship and a data strike dropship. Well, the Grievous Generator Arc and the Silence Heavy Gunship are going to be easy to spot. Whoops. As the Silence Gunship are these 2 big things. And so then these must be the 2 Grievous Generators. This must be their fast strike gunship, because it's the only one of its kind. That would be trio of digit like drones and hulks. That might be the gyro arrow generator, actually. Here. Because the generator has kind of these longer, kind of this claw with the green spikes. Green spikes here, and so does this one. And then this is the trio of digit light dropships. So those are their light dropships to be able to drop off either their skimmers or their infantry. Their skimmers, sorry. It'll be their skimmers, because their infantry, biofisers. I was going to do the biofiser faction focus, but this dropped. Their skimmers, their infantry get generated rather than having to be deployed in transports. So it's a whole new faction mechanic. I'll be working on the faction focuses, the other 5 that need to be done. I've done the UCM one as teasers. Since the rules are coming out, do you guys want me to focus on that? Are you interested in seeing that, or are you interested in continuing and finishing all the articles? Since the rules are coming out, and I'll be able to get games played and going from there. Wow, this is so Okay. These two here might be for the light troop ships. Um, a pack of 6 light provides more infantry in a pack of 6 light armed thorn light skimmers flanks out a trio of dropships. Oh, that's the we have device dropship, data strike dropship, and a silence heavy gunship dropping off the Grievous generator arcs. So there's the data dropship, this 2 datas, a silence heavy gunship, and device dropship. This is the gunship. Device dropship, and 2 data strike dropships. So these are the 2 datas here, and this is the device. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me as I figure out what goes with what. And then here are the light skimmers, the Tusk light skimmers, I believe. No, thorn light skimmers. Hopefully they are a thorn in our side for when you're facing them. So the Hulks are these 4. I was surprised there was 4 bases of Hulks as heavy infantry, and then the drones are going to be the counter to the light infantry or the Legionnaires of the UCM side. So, and then the Praetorian Spec Ops. Okay, so here the Legionnaires are the ones, these 4, there's 5 bases of Legionnaires, and then here are the 2 Praetorian Spec Ops. Because the Legionnaires have the missile launchers, and the PHR Praetorians do not. PHR. UCM Praetorians don't. Oh, sorry, Will White's fair. PHR is my favorite faction. If that isn't, if you can't tell, I keep saying it. So that kind of tells me the heavy infantry, the Hulks versus the Praetorian Spec Ops is possibly a 4-to-1 ratio, which is kind of interesting on the infantry front. But basically, these infantry are fearless versus the UCM ones aren't. So yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see the cost. Thank you for watching this live reaction as we get to see the new box, the chroma terrain, and all of it as everything comes up for pre-order. I am excited. I do plan on doing battle reports. I'll probably try and get in 4 or 5 games to try and get my head wrapped around the rules before I start doing battle reports for you guys and figuring out. So those are going to be interesting to try and film. So bear with me as I do some of my first battle reports on the channel. Again, thank you for watching. Go look at the video. Go look if the pre-order, if it's past July 29th, go look at the pre-order. If you're, hopefully you're excited it's just as much as I am for the new forces and the new troops and new plastic. If you're a resistance faction, you get new infantry that the other factions, other than the new faction of the Bioficers, you get something new. So hopefully that kind of stings the blow for not getting the core standard that the other factions get. So yeah, happy wargaming, wargamers, and for your Dropzone fans, new additions here. Let's go!